The way you wear your hair can quietly add 10 or even 20 years to your appearance without you realizing it. Many older men believe that once age arrives, style no longer matters. But the truth is, your hairstyle speaks before you do. It tells the world whether you are confident, current, and energetic or stuck in the past. What's surprising is that it's often not grey hair that makes a man look old, but the haircut he chooses to keep out of habit. Some styles that once looked dignified now instantly signal age and fatigue, and the worst part, many men hold onto them because they feel safe. One of the biggest aging mistakes is clinging to the same haircut you had decades ago. Hairstyles that were popular in your youth can now make you look dated and disconnected from the present. Hair that is overly flat, heavily parted, or styled rigidly can make the face appear longer and more tired. These styles often highlight thinning areas and wrinkles instead of softening them. Rather than framing the face naturally, they freeze it in time. Another issue is hair that's grown too long without shape. Many older men stop visiting a skilled barber regularly and allow their hair to grow unevenly. Long, wispy hair around the sides or neck can exaggerate thinning on top and make the overall look unkempt. Instead of projecting wisdom and maturity, it can suggest neglect. Structure and balance are essential at any age. Overly dark or obviously dyed hair is another silent aging trap. When the color looks unnatural, it draws attention to age rather than hiding it. People immediately notice the contrast between jet black hair and aging skin. Embracing a natural tone or blending grey subtly often looks far more youthful and confident than trying to erase age completely. Extremely short, harsh cuts can also add years. While clean styles are good, hair that is shaved too close to the scalp can emphasize scalp visibility, deep lines, and sagging features. Softness matters. A little texture can make a face look fuller and more alive. Finally, neglecting hair health is what truly ages a man. Dry, brittle hair with no movement or shine can make even a good cut look old. Hair, like posture and clothing, needs care. The right style doesn't make you look younger, it makes you look like the best version of yourself today. Aging is natural, but looking older than you are is often optional. Sometimes the most powerful change doesn't come from trying harder but from letting go of what no longer serves you. Many older men unknowingly age themselves by holding on to the same hairstyle they wore decades ago. What once looked sharp, respectable, or fashionable can quietly become a timestamp that locks you into the past. Hair trends change for a reason, not just for fashion, but because they adapt to how faces, lifestyles, and even hair textures evolve with age. When a man refuses to update his hairstyle, it often signals resistance to change rather than confidence. People may not consciously notice why, but they feel it instantly. As we age, our hairline shifts, hair density changes, and facial features soften. A style that depended on thick hair or a strong hairline in your 30s can emphasize thinning or recession in your 60s or 70s, deep side parts, slicked back looks, or rigid comb-overs often draw attention to hair loss instead of disguising it. Instead of framing the face, they expose areas we'd rather downplay, making the face appear longer, more tired, and older than it really is. There's also an emotional attachment involved. Many men associate their long-time hairstyle with their identity, their working years, or a time when they felt powerful and admired. Letting go of that style can feel like letting go of youth itself, but the truth is, updating your haircut doesn't erase who you were, it honors who you've become. A modern, age-appropriate cut can still reflect dignity and maturity while adding freshness and energy. Another problem with outdated hairstyles is that they often look overly stiff and unnatural. Heavy use of gel, sharp lines, and overly neat finishes can make hair appear helmet-like. This rigidity contrasts harshly with aging skin and softer facial contours. are more relaxed. Textured style adds movement and life, helping the face look more balanced and approachable. Most importantly, clinging to an old hairstyle can affect how you feel about yourself. When you look in the mirror and see a version of yourself that no longer matches who you are today, it can quietly lower confidence. A small change, shorter sides, softer edges, or a natural flow can make a surprising difference. It doesn't make you look younger by pretending you're not aging. It makes you look current, comfortable, and self-assured, and that kind of confidence is timeless. Letting hair grow long without shape or structure is another common mistake that quietly adds years to an older man's appearance. Many men reach a point where they stop paying close attention to their haircut. Barber visits become less frequent, trims are delayed, and hair is allowed to grow however it wants at first. This may feel comfortable and effortless, but over time it creates a look that appears tired rather than relaxed. Instead of projecting wisdom or ease, unstructured hair often gives the impression of neglect. As hair ages, it naturally becomes finer, drier, and less dense. When longer hair is left without a defined cut, these changes become more obvious. Wispy strands around the ears, neck, and sides exaggerate, thinning on top. The contrast makes the scalp more visible and draws attention to areas of hair loss. Rather than softening the face, uneven length can drag the features downward, making the face look longer and more fatigued. There is also a misconception that longer hair automatically looks youthful. In reality, length without balance rarely flatters an aging face. Without proper shaping, hair loses its ability to frame the face correctly. It can overwhelm smaller features or highlight sagging skin and deep lines. What once might have looked carefree can quickly cross into looking messy or outdated, especially if the hair lacks volume and movement. Another issue is that unshaped, long hair often lacks intention. People respond positively to styles that look deliberate, even if they are simple. When hair looks like it hasn't been cut in months, it sends an unintended message that you've stopped caring about details. This can affect how others perceive your energy, confidence, and even competence. Whether at social gatherings or everyday interactions, structure doesn't mean stiffness. It means balance. A well-shaped cut, even with some length, gives hair purpose. It adds lightness where hair is heavy and fullness where hair is thin. Subtle layering, cleaner edges, and regular trims can instantly make longer hair look healthier and more refined. The goal is not to look younger by force, but to look well-groomed and present. Ultimately, allowing hair to grow without structure often reflects letting go in ways you may not intend. A simple adjustment, visiting a skilled barber, maintaining shape, and keeping proportions in check can restore a sense of control and confidence. When your hair has form and direction, it supports your appearance instead of aging it. Using overly dark or unnatural hair color is one of the quickest ways older men unintentionally make themselves look older rather than younger. While the intention is usually to hide gray hair and regain a youthful appearance, the opposite often happens. When hair color looks forced or artificial, it immediately draws attention not to youth, but to age. People may not say it out loud, but they sense that something doesn't match naturally, and that mismatch highlights aging even more. As skin ages, it loses some elasticity, softness, and even tone. Jet black or extremely dark hair creates a sharp contrast against aging skin, making wrinkles, fine lines, and under-eye shadows appear more pronounced. Instead of blending harmoniously, the hair stands out in a way that feels unnatural. This contrast can make the face look harsher and more tired, even if the hair itself appears thick and full. Another common issue is uniform color. Natural hair at any age has variation. Gray hair doesn't appear all at once or in one flat shade. When men dye their hair a single, solid color, it removes depth and realism. The result often looks flat and artificial, which subconsciously signals that the color is not genuine. Rather than hiding age, it advertises insecurity about it. There's also the problem of maintenance. Dark dyes fade unevenly, revealing grey. Roots quickly, this creates a constant cycle of touch-ups, and when roots show, the contrast becomes even more noticeable, instead of appearing youthful. The hair begins to look high maintenance and distracting, pulling attention away from the face and personality. Many men fear that embracing grey will make them look old, but poorly chosen colour does that far more effectively. Softening the tone, blending grey, or choosing a lighter, more natural shade often looks fresher and more confident. Subtle colouring works with age rather than fighting it. It respects the natural changes in hair texture and skin tone. Most importantly, confidence plays a major role in how age is perceived. Hair that looks natural sends a message of self-acceptance and ease. It suggests a man who is comfortable with who he is, rather than trying to recreate who he used to be. That quiet confidence is far more attractive than any dye job. In the end, hair color should support your appearance, not compete with it, when the color looks believable, balanced, and intentional. It enhances maturity instead of exposing it. Aging gracefully doesn't mean giving up, it means choosing wisely. Choosing extremely short or harsh haircuts is another mistake that can quietly add years to an older man's appearance. While many men believe that cutting hair very short is clean, practical, and masculine, going too far often has the opposite effect. Instead of creating a fresh look, overly tight cuts can expose every sign of aging in the face and scalp. What feels simple and low maintenance can unintentionally make a man look more worn and severe. As men age, the scalp becomes more visible due to thinning hair and reduced density. Extremely short styles remove any coverage that might soften these areas. This draws attention directly to bald spots, uneven hair growth, and scalp texture. At the same time, very close cuts emphasize head shape, which may no longer be as smooth or balanced as it once was. Rather than looking sharp, the result can appear stark and unforgiving. Harsh haircuts also tend to highlight facial aging. Deep lines on the forehead, around the eyes, and near the mouth become more noticeable when there is no hair to frame the face. Sharp edges and rigid outlines create strong contrasts that clash with softer, aging skin. Instead of balancing the face, these styles can exaggerate sagging, wrinkles, and hollow areas, making the overall appearance look tired or stern. Another issue is that ultra-short styles often remove personality from the look. Hair plays an important role in expressing individuality and warmth. When it's stripped down too much, the face can appear flat or emotionless. This can make a man seem less approachable. Even if he feels comfortable with the cut, what might look powerful in youth can feel overly aggressive or outdated later in life. Softness and texture are key as we age. A little length, subtle layering, or natural movement can dramatically improve how hair complements the face. These elements help blend features rather than expose them. Even a clean cut benefits from gentle transitions instead of hard lines and sharp fades. Ultimately, choosing an extremely short or harsh haircut is often about convenience, not appearance, but small adjustments, leaving a bit more length, softening edges, and allowing natural flow can make a powerful difference. The goal isn't to look younger by force, but to look balanced, confident, and comfortable in your own skin. Ignoring hair health and proper grooming is often the final factor that makes an older man look far older than he truly is. Even the best haircut or most flattering style can fail if the hair itself looks dry, brittle, or lifeless. Many men assume that hair care is only about vanity, but in reality, it's about presentation and self-respect. When hair is neglected, it quietly sends the message that you've stopped paying attention to yourself, and others notice more than you think. As men age, the scalp produces less natural oil, which leads to dryness and dullness. Hair becomes thinner, weaker, and more prone to breakage. Without basic care, it can appear frizzy, rough, or uneven. This lack of vitality instantly ages the face, making a man look tired and worn down. Healthy-looking hair, even if grey or thin, reflects light and movement, which gives the face a fresher, more alert appearance. Poor grooming habits also play a major role. Untrimmed eyebrows, stray hairs around the ears, and an untidy neckline can make the entire head look unkempt. These small details may seem insignificant, but together they create a sense of disorder. When grooming is ignored, it suggests a lack of intention, and that impression often overshadows everything else about a man's appearance. Another overlooked issue is using the wrong products or none at all. Harsh shampoos can strip aging hair of its remaining moisture, leaving it dry and brittle. On the other hand, heavy products can weigh hair down, making it look flat and lifeless. The right balance is essential. Simple, gentle care goes a long way in maintaining softness, volume, and natural movement. There's also a psychological aspect to hair neglect. When men stop caring for their hair, it often reflects a deeper belief that appearance no longer matters. This mindset can subtly affect posture, confidence, and how one interacts with others. In contrast, taking a few minutes each day to groom reinforces self-worth and pride, regardless of age. Ultimately, hair health and grooming are not about chasing youth, they're about maintaining dignity and presence. Well cared for hair supports your overall look and enhances your natural features. When your hair appears healthy and intentional, it doesn't just make you look better, it makes you feel more confident, engaged, and alive.